What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I'm going to be talking about the difference between the Dokofar, which is known as the Dark Elf, and the Varani in Kingdoms of Amalur, re-reckoning here through the backwards compatibility through the PlayStation 5. And I made a video on this similar to this, but I feel like that this video is going to be a little bit more in-depth of what I'm truly going to try to talk about here in terms between the Varani and versus the Dalkafar. And so, what I will say about the Varani, what the Varani does specifically in its own unique way, and only in terms of its skills, is the fact that they have basically one in detect hidden. They have two into mercantile, one into mercantile, excuse me, and they have two into lock picking. So that's the only difference between that's the only difference with the Varani as of right now. But if you're going to choose with the Dolkafar is going to have two in stealth, one in persuasion, and then one in sagecraft. Now, what I will say is that I think what makes the difference or uniqueness to of these two races, particularly, because I'm more of a rogue play style in a way to where you're using a little bit of magic but you're using roguish stuff, right? You're using like bow and arrow, and you're using either daggers or fey blades. I mean, you can choose as you see fit what weapons that you want to be able to use in terms of that type of playstyle, and I think that's a really cool way of explaining that. So, what I will say about the Dalkafar, though, the only thing that the Dalkafar, known as the Dark Elf, really has over the Varani, other than the Vrani having the detect hidden +1 and the +1 in mercantile and 2 in lockpicking. But like I said, what the Dolkafar really has a good stand on from the Vrani is the fact that they have +2 in stealth. Now, I really do believe, I think the Vrani do have a good way of playing more of a more pure rogue playstyle. I'm not saying that the Vrani doesn't do that. It does it amazingly well. But if you want to go with pure rogue, like I said, you can do whatever you want in this game, as I previously mentioned in a video that I made in less than a year ago. And so I'm trying to find the proper words of how I'm really trying to explain this, because I feel like that maybe sometimes I feel like that my videos are a little misconstrued and really not trying to familiarize or trying to differentiate between the character classes and their skills and the abilities that they're going to be using within this game. And so my apologies on that if anybody has any types of comments or questions that you might have. I've actually had a comment not too long ago, and they were asking me, Nameless, well, what is your favorite playstyle? And I said, well, my preferred playstyle in usually in these types of games has always been a rogue. Basically, your stealth, you're going up close with your daggers and getting that really cool kill cam system with some archery. It's the same thing as that within like Skyrim or like any other games that have that type of roguish element or gameplay style to that kind of mechanic in games like this in general when it comes to the role playing aspects. Now, what I will say about the Dalkafar, though, like I said, it's not just the fact that they have 2 points in stealth, and it's not that they don't have one in persuasion, which they do, and it's the fact that it's the sagecraft. That's one thing that the Vrani does not have when you first start out, but you can if you do so choose, because like I said, each character race and what kind of skills or abilities that you want to play with, like I said, you can do whatever you want. And that's what's nice about this game. This game does not, what I'm saying is that this game does not hold your hand like a lot of RPGs do. And what I mean by that, it's like you are free to do whatever you want. This game is very much what's similar to Skyrim does. I think Skyrim specifically, even if Kingdoms of Amalur specifically as well, I think these two games do a really good job of telling you in a certain type of implementation way of what skills you want to use if you want to go a specific route of playstyle, and you don't always have to stick with it. But in Skyrim, it kind of holds your hand just a little bit because you can't go to a Fate Weaver like you can in Kingdoms of Amalur, where you can be able to always reset your ability, your skills, and your abilities, and you can spread them out wherever you want to go. If you want to do a pure warrior, by all means, you can do pure warrior. If you want to do a battle mage with chakrams and with daggers or blades, you can do that too. So what I'm saying is that it doesn't matter what race that you use. It all depends on what the skills you want to use and what the abilities that you want to use as well for your specific playstyle. And I think that's what makes these types of games important to a certain extent, because it feels that I feel like there are games out there, not just Skyrim or Kingdoms of Amalur, but there are games out there that do have that type of implementation, but you can't reset your skills. I'm sure that there are games that are able to do that, but what makes Kingdoms of Amalur so unique is the fact that it's not just about what kind of playstyle that you want to, as you choose to see fit, or what you want to play as. It's the fact that you can reset your skills and your abilities, but you can't choose your race. Once you choose your race, you're kind of locked out of that. That's the only thing you're locked out of. But the only thing that you are completely free to reset your skills and your abilities as you see fit in order to just, play as you want. That's what's nice about this game. This game definitely has that type of Skyrim ability, or that type of, not really optimization, but it's just what makes the game cool in that whole entire retrospect of that type of gameplay style. So I thought I'd make that very well known and to that understanding, so that way a lot of people can finally figure out, okay, what do I want to do in this game? And so I played this game a lot, back in the PS3 era, and so once they came out with not this collection, but the Fatesworn edition of this game for PS4, I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm gonna get this game because I really want to play it all the way through it. I haven't played all the way through it yet, but I'm still getting there. I mean, but what I'm saying is that this game gives you a lot of attention to detail. It's not just about character progression. It's not just about what your skills are or what your abilities are. It's how you play. And I think that's what makes this game far more unique or somewhat superior to Skyrim. And I'm not saying that Skyrim isn't the better game. And I'm not saying that Kingdoms of Amalur isn't the better game. I'm just saying each kind of games that we have nowadays like this are always going to be different of each other. And I think the only thing that what I understand is that Skyrim has over Kingdoms of Amalur is that it has a high modification community for the game. As far as I know, that you can mod Kingdoms of Amalur if you play it on PC. I'm sure you can do that too. So I'm just putting that out there as well. Um, so now what I will say, what's really nice about playing as like I said, what's really nice about playing as the Dalkafar in this game specifically, other than the Varani, is the fact that once you basically get all your stealth up, okay, and once you get all your persuasion up, your detect hidden, and your blacksmithing, it doesn't matter what character race that you play as or whatever, you want to get these skills pretty high up, because what's going to happen with detect hidden specifically is that it's going to be able to have you find a lot of gold in the world, and it's not just that, you can be able to find lore stones and treasures that are displayed on the mini map. Let's see, I'm trying to think here. Traps can be disarmed and salvaged for components. Oh, yeah, secret doors are displayed on the mini map and are revealed if you go near them. That's what makes when you get detect hidden from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once you get up to 5 in the middle advanced tree here, you'll be able to open those secret doors and possibly finding better loot. Whether if it's like a rare, this game has a little bit of a rarity system, to where it's similar to what like the Division does, or like Diablo. And that's what makes this game even more cool as well. But I don't want to I don't want to go too deep in that because I have a video on that as well. So feel free to watch that video as you see fit or as long as you want to. Either or, it's however you want to do that. So, anyways, so another thing I will add here in the final part of this video is the fact that, like I said, there is no the only difference is of each race within this game. They will always have different skills. They will always have, like, with the whether if it's the alchemy, the blacksmithing, the detecting, excuse me, the dispelling, the lockpicking, mercantile, persuasion, sagecraft, and stealth. Now I will put this in here real quick, so I'm gonna do this here real quick as well as a final note. The Vrani, like I said, do 1+1 to detect hidden, 1 per mercantile, whereas you can be able to sell higher stuff or sell stuff in the most specific way, and they have +2 in lockpicking. The Dokafard, which is known as the Dark Elf, they have 2 in stealth, 1 in persuasion, and 1 in sagecraft. Let's see. The all main, which is basically like a warrior. If you want, or if you want to go battle mage, by all means you can do that too. From what I understand, with the all main, if you play as a battle mage, it's a very good race to play as you're first starting out. But the Vrani, I feel like, to me, felt like it was a much more equivalent of me playing that race because, like I said, I just want to go pure rogue finesse. You know, I want to do that thievery type of stuff because it's so satisfying. Like I said, the all main does 2 in blacksmithing, 1 in alchemy, and 1 in persuasion. And then, last but not least, the Lojalsafar, known as the High Elf, basically, they do 1 in dispelling. No, excuse me. They do 2 in dispelling, 1 in alchemy, and 1 in sagecraft. So if you want to be able to know what those 4 classes do in terms of what skills that you want to use and partake, there you go. I thought I'd mention that as well. So feel free to have any comments or questions you might have. Please put them in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to reply back and help you if you wanted to see more videos like this. But anyways, stay tuned for more future content here at Nameless X Unknown Player here. And thank you for tuning in. Have a good rest of your evening. Have a good rest of your day. And peace.